Val Kilmer is gone, a Hollywood legend, a once-in-a-generation talent, and a man who captured hearts with unforgettable performances in films like Top Gun, The Doors, and Batman Forever, passed away on April 1, 2025, at the age of 65. But how did it happen? What truly led to his death? The truth is far more complex and far more human than most headlines suggest. In 2014, Val Kilmer was diagnosed with throat cancer. At first, he denied the rumors. He remained private, reclusive even, and only later confirmed the diagnosis, publicly. The treatments were brutal: chemotherapy, radiation, a tracheotomy that permanently altered his voice. It was a battle that would define the last decade of his life. He couldn't speak properly anymore. He had to learn to communicate differently, and even then, pain and silence became his new normal. But Val didn't let that stop him. In 2020, he surprised the world by appearing in a deeply personal documentary titled Val. Using hours of footage he had recorded over the years, the film painted a raw and intimate portrait of an artist confronting mortality. It was honest. It was heartbreaking. It was beautiful. Then came Top Gun: Maverick in 2022. Fans had wondered whether he'd be part of the long-awaited sequel, and he was. In a scene that moved millions, Val Kilmer returned as Iceman, standing alongside Tom Cruise's Maverick one last time. But what made that scene even more remarkable was that his voice had been digitally recreated using artificial intelligence. A UK-based software company called Sonantic used archival recordings and AI to give him back his voice, at least on screen. It wasn't just technology. It was a miracle. At the time, it seemed Val was doing better. In interviews, his children, Mercedes and Jack, spoke of his resilience and optimism. He was officially in remission. He had beaten cancer. Or so we thought. But the damage was done. Years of aggressive treatment had taken a toll on his body. His immune system, weakened by years of fighting, was vulnerable. On April 1, 2025, Val Kilmer died from complications of pneumonia. It wasn't cancer that claimed his life in the end. It was a common infection, but one his body simply couldn't fight anymore. His daughter, Mercedes, confirmed the cause in a quiet but emotional statement. "My father was a warrior," she said. "He fought every day with grace and faith, and in the end, he left this world in peace." Tributes poured in from every corner of Hollywood. Josh Brolin called him a giant. Josh Gad described him as brilliant, brave, and filled with fire. Director Michael Mann, who worked with Kilmer on Heat, said Val had the rare ability to burn through the screen with both power and vulnerability. But more than an actor, Val Kilmer was an artist, a poet, a painter, a spiritual seeker. In his final years, he devoted himself to expression beyond performance. His memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, offered readers a glimpse into his soul, his regrets, his victories, his search for meaning. He once said, "I don't care about fame. I care about connection, about truth, about beauty." And in many ways, that was the legacy he chose to leave behind. He died quietly. No media circus, no drama, just peace. Val Kilmer's story is not just about loss, it's about courage, about facing pain with dignity, about using art as a way to transcend suffering. In the end, he didn't fade away. He transformed. He became more than just a name in the credits. He became a symbol of perseverance and quiet strength. If you've ever been touched by his performances, if you remember the ice-cold confidence of Iceman, the haunting passion of Jim Morrison, or the quiet intensity of Doc Holliday, then you've already felt the mark he left on the world. Val Kilmer didn't just act. He inspired. He endured. And though his voice was taken from him, his message was louder than ever. Rest in peace, Val. You may have lost your voice, but the world will never stop hearing you. If this story moved, you like the video to honor Val Kilmer's legacy. Subscribe for more tributes and stories that reveal the human side of our favorite icons. Because behind every star, there's a soul, and behind every goodbye, a legacy worth remembering.